Alright guys, welcome back. It's still Monday, 6:56 p.m. I got a full day tomorrow, so I'm not too sure if I'm going to be having the time or energy to focus on a video, but I'm trying to stay as consistent as possible with this YouTube thing. So, now that is playing the tape through, right? I got a full day tomorrow and I want to put out a video, so I'm doing it the night before. That's how we do it, man. That is how we do it. That's how we do life. Unfortunately, it took many years for me to get that right, to get it together. But hey, we got it. We're getting it, man. So in this one, I'm going to be highlighting, I guess, a day in the life of a functioning addict, right? And I'm going to be speaking about two different aspects, two different jobs that I had where I was a functioning addict for a little while. It never lasted for me. I still don't know of any functioning addicts, right? I mean, there's people that smoke weed, but which is cool, you know? It's still you could still function and live a normal, healthy life, right? That's not what this is about. I'm talking about the harder stuff, the H and all that stuff, right? The powders, the pills, all that stuff. Primarily opiates because that's my experience and that's what I was hooked on. But at these jobs, I wasn't only on opiates. I relied on opiates to get through my day because I needed it, and I started doing them because I liked the feeling, right? They masked a certain void, they masked my emotions, all that stuff. I'm sure you guys are well aware of, the power of opiates. So yeah, I'm going to be speaking about my experience in hotels and as well as sushi restaurant. And I'm not going to be talking about like the day-to-day operations of hotels or the sushi restaurant. I'm just going to be speaking on my time trying to survive, trying to get through the day. It don't like I said, it only went on for so long before it got out of control and I was just making bad decisions, committing petty crimes, and so on and so forth, right? Quitting jobs on the last day to go to rehab or detox, all that stuff, right? I've done that so many times. Not proud of it, but I make these videos to show you guys what not to do and also what to do in regards to what I'm doing today, right? So, okay, so hotels. I wrote down some notes, so you're going to see me looking away. I really don't like doing videos with notes, but I figure for this one, it's it's going to be. I want it to be as accurate as possible. So, so here we go. Hotels, right? When I first started, things were good, until I was physically dependent. So I'd wake up, start my day in withdrawal, and this was all before my shift, right? I generally worked 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. I was a front desk supervisor, so I was in charge of overseeing the front desk agents as well as every single guest in that hotel. Also, on the weekends, I was a manager on duty, so anything that went on in that hotel, anything that went wrong, you know, was my fault. Common sense. So, anyway, being a functioning addict, man, it's I'm gonna title this "The Illusion of Control" because that's what it was. It was all an illusion, all a facade, all a front, straight up acting, right? Hiding the biggest secret of my life at the time. You know, I kind of felt like you could kind of compare it to like a Batman or Superman. I wasn't a hero, but the way they would live their normal life in their normal suit, and then at night they would, go out and save the world. I wasn't saving the world. That was just kind of like a behind the scenes aspect. Um, I'm not making any sense. You know, they lived one way to the public, but behind the scenes they were another, right? So I guess that's what I mean. Anyway, so yeah, I'd start my day in withdrawal. This would be in the morning. So I'd wake up, dope sick, of course. And then, you know, when I started off as a functioning addict, the money wasn't a big issue because my habit wasn't the biggest. So I was still able to, function, for a certain amount of time. So I'd start my day feeling crappy, all the withdrawals, the sneezing, the chills, the nausea. One of the biggest side effects for me was like nauseous, right? I'd feel like a lump in my throat and I'd feel like just gagging, and I couldn't eat unless I was high. That's just how it is. If I tried to eat when I'm detoxing, it wouldn't work out. Like I couldn't make myself swallow food, you know. The only time I came close to eating, I guess, would be just drinking the broth of soup. That was the extent. Occasional drinks of water, Gatorade, or broth just to get some sort of nutrients. So, anyway, so I'd get my money together, right? Just make sure I have enough to get through the day and kind of plan out my week. You know, that was the main focus, just to make sure I have enough money just so I could go to work and support my habit. You know, that's basically all I was living for, just to support my habit. So if I generally try to save enough um, pills. I was on the opiate, I was on the blues, right? And then any Vicodin, any perks, any OCs that I could get my hands on. So I would always try and save enough for the morning. That way I could wake up, do what I have to do, and then get better, feel better, get well, as they say, right? So wake up, get high real quick with whatever little bit I have. There'd be days, as the time went on, where I went to bed with a small amount just for the morning, right? But I would wake up maybe, maybe a couple hours, 2, 3 hours later, and for whatever reason, and then I would just do the rest of my stuff then, and then eventually pass out, and then wake up kind of dope sick, and then just having to repeat the same day over and over, right? But also, I remember in the beginning phases, the opiates like made me kind of wired, like the Vicodin, the perks, the OCs. I would get like wired, not like tweaking, like a tweak meth wired, but just like alert, right? It's like I took 10 vitamin B12s and I was just like super alert. My brain was on, and that was just the way it affected me. I felt good, but I guess I bring that up to say there'd be days where I would just not be able to fall asleep, until I'd have to go to work. So that is just one of the effects it had on me. So anyway, after getting high, I would just make sure I had everything on me, my money, and then whatever kit I was using at the time. So when I was on the pills, I would primarily snort them. So I made sure I had either some cash or a straw. That way, whenever I got the chance at work, I could just either chill in the office or a empty room or the bathroom, right? And then I also make sure I had plenty of hotel key, not plenty, at least one hotel key card on me, primarily my master key. Since I was a supervisor of the hotel, I had a master key to every room in the hotel. So I'd keep the key card on me. And and if you're snorting pills, you know why. But for those that don't know, let me cover up some numbers. This key card right here, right, place the pill down, put the key card over it, and then just smash it, and then kind of like do this thing to flatten out the pill, and then I would proceed to snort it. That process wouldn't take long at all. So that was the case. And let me see, that was a big tangent there. So yeah, getting my kit ready, made sure I had everything. When I was on the H, my kit looked a little bit different. So I had pieces of foil folded up in my wallet. I had a lighter, and I also had foil lighter straw. I had Visine for my eyes, and breath mints and gum. So that was primarily my little kit. And the majority the majority of the time, like, depending on the situation, sometimes I would leave it in my car, or I would just keep the foil, the lighter, and the straw on me. There'd be times where the straw would almost fall out of my pocket, you know? I didn't, I don't even know why I kept it on me. That was primarily towards when I was on H, you know, because when I was snorting the pills, I could just fold anything up, really, cut a piece of paper up, fold it, and then, do my stuff that way to the dome. So, so yeah, my kit, I'd make sure I had all that ready. And then, um, fast forward some time, that's when the money issues became a problem. So I would try and budget my money enough to where I had enough for the week or until payday. As time went on, that wasn't the case, and it never went that way because and my habit increased, and so therefore I'd be tapped out of cash quick. I'd be lucky if my cash got me through the first week. And then from there it'd be scrambling, right? Scrambling, trying to make any phone calls to people, hey, let me get some cash, this happened to my car, whatever, right? Any negotiation, any manipulation I could do just for that day, I would do, right? So sometimes that wouldn't work out. I'd be calling family too, just making up the stupidest excuse, right? So just to get some cash. And, I'm not afraid to say it. That's just how things were. So, and it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good looking back, you know. It doesn't feel good. I've called. Actually, I'm not going to get into who I called because it doesn't matter. But it doesn't feel good. It's embarrassing, and but that's just part of my story. And I'm doing this for you guys. So, yeah, try and make the calls, right? And when that, sometimes it wouldn't work. I would have to resort to committing the petty crime at work. I was responsible for cash at the front desk, and also had a safe behind the front desk. It was only $200 in that safe, but I generally ran through that pretty quick, and I always replaced it. The hotel was closed down, and this happened like so long ago, man, like 2007, 2008, 2009 era. So I feel okay talking about this stuff, right? Anyway, so that was a little bit before work. At work, as soon as I'd get to work, I would try and get high one more time, just so I could feel my best, just so I could feel high enough to deal with whatever's on my plate. That's just how it is, man, my routine. It's like getting in your car, smoking a cigarette. Once you get to wherever you're going or leaving, then you smoke another cigarette, right? That was pretty much my routine. So I'd get high one last time. If I got to work early enough, I'd make my way into a vacant room just so I could have some sort of peace and do my stuff in peace. I didn't really like getting high in my car just in case one of the other employees saw me and just wanted to come and talk, you know. So I would just try and find like silence somewhere, some peace, right? So that was a little bit of the hotel aspect. And as I said, my addiction, my tolerance for the drug just skyrocketed. Skyrocketed and then I was left to, commit the petty crimes. I got fired from that job for 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 stealing money. They found out. So I got fired and I'm super thankful at that time. All this happened at multiple hotels and at different times. But um, I'm just speaking primarily about all hotels that I worked at. And so, let me see, where was I? Okay, so got to work, got high one last time, pull out the Visine just to make sure my eyes were okay, and then go to work and just start my day, right? So, okay, that's the hotel aspect. I was living to support my habit, working to support my habit, and as time went on, man, like my addiction would increase, and there'd be times where I'd be running out of money. I would start um, my nutrition, my diet would just not become of importance to me because, as I said, I needed money, and I needed the money to get high, and I needed to get high to eat. So when my money's low, my food intake would be low, and I'd start losing weight. I would start looking different. My clothes would start fitting a lot baggier on me, and just my overall way of life was bad. I was trying to create an illusion that I was in control. You know, I felt I had to maintain a certain solid presence as I had that supervisory title at work. You know, so I had to put up one of the biggest fronts. It wasn't good. It didn't feel good. I wasn't confident. I was paranoid, but I needed to get high. That was my life at the time. All right. So that is the hotel aspect. All right. Now we're going to get into the sushi restaurant. So I was really, to sum up the story, right? I my friend, yeah, I think this is how it worked out. So many things happened in that time, and I was like really high, really out of my mind at that time. So some of the time frames and kind of like the small details of certain stories might be kind of like skewed, right? But I try to remember certain things as best as I could. And so it happened to work out, me leaving the hotel to work at the sushi restaurant. So um, my friend was helping, my best friend at the time, he was helping one of his friends open up a sushi restaurant. My friend was like one of the head sushi guys there at the sushi bar, and he needed an extra sushi chef. He was willing to teach me how to make sushi. He brought me a knife, right? So he got me a job as soon as maybe some sort of time after I left the hotel. And so my money wasn't the best, but my habit was like screwed through the roof. My habit was super high, but I didn't see my friend frequently, right? So he didn't see me at my best, and he wasn't able to recognize basically me deteriorating, right? He didn't see me kind of thicker in the face and the body looking normal and healthy, right? He saw me when I was at my worst. So he didn't see the evolution, the progression of my addiction. He saw me a few times and he thought that's just basically how I looked. So I really wasn't a red flag. Um, I really wasn't an issue, right? He had no problem getting me the job. As I said, my manipulation skills and me painting the prettiest picture to get what I want, those skills were supreme, right? Top tier. And so I got the job. I was broke at the time. I was basically surviving each day. So I was barely working full time at the sushi restaurant. Um, Man, like maybe 20 to 30 hours a week. And we also got tips on Thursdays. So there would be times on Thursdays where the tips wouldn't be ready till like noon, right? And my shift would be, man, maybe like 4, sometimes 5 to close in the evening. So I'd go in a little bit before the tips are ready, and I'd be just waiting, man, just waiting to get my tips so I could go leave the sushi restaurant and go get high before my shift and make sure I have enough, for the day or however long, you know. And so while working there, I met one of the guys there. We became real close, and we just clicked. We both knew that we had an addiction. Um, I could tell and he could tell, and we just started talking and then clicking, right? And so yeah, we became tight, and then we some of the nights we worked together, right? We would just start getting high together, and we would we we'd like meet up before work, and we'd get high. And we'd also get high together. It was a small sushi restaurant. There was one set of restrooms for the men and women in the restaurant. So the employees were using the same restroom that the guests, the customers were, right? So there'd be times where both of us would take a break from the sushi bar, and then we would go to the restroom together, and we'd get high together, either on H, or it would be we'd be smoking the G, right? The glass. We'd be blowing fat clouds in the sushi bar restroom, packed on like a Thursday, a Friday, and Saturday. Those were our busiest times. There was a DJ there, so there'd be just a lot of people there in the evenings. It was cool, it was fun, it was a good job, but we were a hot mess, dude. We didn't care. We just wanted to, just keep getting high, and that's just what addicts do, right? So there'd be times where we'd be in there for maybe a couple minutes. There'd be just fat clouds in there, and then there'd be customers going in right after us, and we'd have our sushi we'd have our sushi shirt on and just act like try to act cool as possible, right? Looking back at this, man, it's so stupid. So so that's how that was, man. We were, as time goes, man, we just didn't care. I just didn't care, as long as I got high, I would try and create the best illusion possible. Like I have everything under control. Like I had nothing to hide. But it never lasts, right? It never lasts. It is crazy thinking about how life was at that time. The things I did just to maintain my habit. It doesn't last. The illusion of control, my illusion of control, was out of control. I had zero control. It was fine in the beginning, but it didn't last. Eventually, in and out of detox, jail, rehab. I've said that many times. And then prison, and then relapse again, blah, 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 right? I wasted so much time. Had to restart over at 39, and, I'm 43 now. I feel good. And so That is basically my experience as a functioning addict. It never lasted. As I said in the beginning of this video, it never lasts. I don't know of any functioning addicts today. As a matter of fact, I don't associate with that type of crowd anymore. I'm not better than them. I am them. I'm just not doing that type of stuff. I don't need that type of energy around me. When it came to restarting my life, I had to change everything about it, man. Everything. The people, the places, and the things. I had to rewrite a whole new... I had to reinvent myself. It's basically like being reborn. I can't explain it unless you've gone through this. I'm sure some of you guys, maybe a lot of you guys can relate to this, but hope you enjoyed this one. Hope you got something out of this. I guess this didn't turn out too bad with the notes. I just don't like looking away. But anyway, yeah. 7:22 now. I guess it depends how long this takes to upload. I might put it up tonight, but it will be up. And I appreciate you guys for listening. For more behind the scenes type stuff with me, check me out on IG, Righteous Monkey, right? If you have any questions about addiction, recovery, whatever, business, you could email me, Righteous Monkey Official. You could also hit me on Instagram too, but my email, righteousmonkeyofficial@gmail. And so, but yeah, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate all the people that like and share and comment, especially the comments, right? I love hearing feedback about these videos. And I like when people ask questions and ask me to speak on things because, it just helps. It helps give you guys what you want. And as well as the likes, whether you like it or dislike it, it still pushes these videos. So if you're out here disliking shorts or videos, just know it's helping us. It does. It doesn't hurt us. It might hurt some people's egos, but I appreciate the dislikes. It's just funny, some of the stuff that people dislike. It's just hilarious, right? But if you're out there disliking stuff, just know it's helping the video get to more people. So, hit that dislike. Thanks for listening.